North American action coming for you. Now, Luminosity had delayed a lot of their games, so they had a jam-packed week to try and recover and climb their way back up the table. One of the toughest games they ran into in that catch-up was, of course, M80. M80 in a bit of disarray, missing players and all of this, changes of rosters, so we're going to get some fill here. Nero is coming in. The emergency substitute will make an appearance. Meanwhile, we'll also see Tree and Kaluj, who are expected to join the roster full-time. We'll get to see them coming in. Now, obviously, M80 are coming off the back of Dallas. They've got these games to play. So I think very much M80 are kind of just freeballing it a little bit. So I can take you through the bans and the picks and all of this. M80 get to pick 1 and 3. So M80 ban Nepal, Luminosity ban Busan, meaning we go to Oasis, as we often do, a map most teams seem to end up happy to play. Then M80 ban Hollywood. Oh, sorry, Luminosity ban Parisio, so take the dive away. M80 ban Hollywood, and Midtown was Luminosity's pick. Then M80 ban Shambali, Luminosity ban Rialto, and we'll go to a rare Junkertown. A rare Junkertown pick by M80 if we need it. But we can hop right into the first map here if I can load up the replay. Let's see. Replays. Oasis. Here we go. Let me do this. Let me get rid of the webcam because you don't need to see my face. You need to see the action. I'm going to see Luminosity take on M80. So the impression I get from both teams is obviously M80 roster changes back from Dallas, all of this. Haven't overly prepared or overly practiced for this. And on the side of Luminosity, the word from inside is they've also not actually been scrimming that much. So we might get a little bit of a chaotic one, a messy one, as we start in this Oasis City Centre. And as everybody saw at Dallas, Mauga is back. Early high ground here for Luminosity. They'll take that one for free. So M80 will concede it and just rotate away. And Tree's going to find the opening pick. Tree is a player who's really had a lot of potential for a long time, but made the mistake of being born too late. But he's finally caught up in age. And he's ready, good to go. Gets that opening pick, and they'll start forcing point. Genjis are being mirrored as well, and Dante's taken so much damage here. The Suzu comes out, tries to run away. Body blocked a little bit by Kaluj, and Dante is not getting out of this one. They finish him off. Tree will claim another final blow, and they will get all the cleanup here. Chase down onto the Cass. Kaluj rolling forward. M80 with a pretty straightforward first fight, thanks to the young man Tree. And they'll go and hold aggressively here now. In the Mauga trade, getting that early HP advantage is important, as we always say. And therefore, shooting them in this big open area can be really frustrating for Luminosity. You can see it already. Dante's getting chunked and poked. Losing it. Magnetic Grenade onto King makes his life a little bit harder. And mate, you're going to back up to point now. Play these more open angles. Again, trying to make Dante's life hard. Not great amount of cover for him. We'll be set on fire. And we'll be into the poke phase of it. Here comes the slamming from Kaluj. Doesn't find anything. Kitsune rushes traded. Dante is zoning the backline, and they're able to finish that one off quickly. Laya gets caught, and they turn on Kaluj. Kaluj tried to make the aggressive move, but then just ended up out of position for this Kitsune rush trade. Laya then gets caught. They can't regroup, and a pretty straightforward retake. You don't normally see it that easy and that straightforward on City Center, but we get it here, and they get it just with a single ult trade. So everything else is coming up for both teams. Just Kitsune rushes down. Slightly quicker blade for King. They're going to back up to point here again, Luminosity. Similar to how M80 did. And we'll get the big ult trade. All about this trade. Expect high noons to be thrown in, both effective in the cage trade. Equal ult, so both teams can feel confident in it. Vision is holding the high ground, and it seems like M80 want to get rid of Vision. The dash will shoo him away for now, and M80 can retake from the high ground. They'll top everyone back up as Luminosity move over to the car side of a point. You see King holding this off angle. Both Genjis have Blade, but have to be careful about getting caught in that cage. Will limit their ability to dash and reset and get the true value. M80 trying to encroach, but point will stay contested. Luminosity back in here. Kaluj going to make that aggressive move onto the backline. Goes for it, drops the cage in there. They all come back. Beats will be traded later. Beat comes out from Laya. But the High Noon was going the whole time. They were all trapped in there with him. Tree doesn't get a chance to use that. Obviously much easier for the defensive team to use for High Noon in the cage rather than the aggressive Cass using it, because he has to try and move to where the cage fight is taken. If you look where Kaluj took that cage fight, even though he dragged all of Luminosity there because he got the backline, it was really hard for Tree to follow up. So Vision was able to drop it. The beat keeps him alive. And they win that ult trade, 78% and counting. Now just this High Noon coming back with from Tree. Lost both ult trades so far, M80. It was only that neutral they won with that Tree pick. They do have ult advantage here, though. High Noon, hard to use. They've got the deflex out. Kitsune rush over top. Squid doesn't have it yet, so they can focus down Dante. Dante, the disengage is good, I think. They're all awfully low. They're trying to zone them back. And they do now drop a High Noon. Kaluge is in trouble. King has the deflex still. Just about gets out there. Damage onto Dante. Dante's going to push it forward onto Kaluge. Can't catch him though, so they will back off onto that one. Squid is about to have his Kitsune rush as Luminosity come back onto the high ground. Blade and Beat soon to follow. Liar desperate to get this own beat to try and survive that one. Could really do with disengaging this first Kyrie ult though. One final fight to finish it all, and it's ult advantage for Luminosity. Now the Kitsune rush comes out. They've got an opening pick before the beat comes through as well, so player advantage, ult advantage. High Noon has been dropped. They'll keep Vision alive, but King has done the damage with Blade. And Luminosity, they just need to clean up M80 as efficiently as they can. Kaluge gets one more touch. Squid will clean it up, and Luminosity will take the first round. Normally you would say M80 are favourites in this series, especially considering their track record so far, but with such a retooled roster and such limited practice time, you would have to say it becomes a much more Luminosity favoured match in theory. The counter to that is that if Luminosity haven't been scrimming that much, they might just be X% below their normal level, or their potential level. But they claim the first round here, and I think that the nice thing for Luminosity about how that first round went, is all the fights that Luminosity won were the ult fights, and the ult fights are so important of Amalgam Mirror. And it's the sort of thing you'd maybe expect a team with a little bit more experience, a little bit more time together to be better at. Better understanding of the macro and these more complicated ult trades. Going to be a race to top here, and now it's actually Pharah Sigma coming out here. So this is a matchup we saw a lot at Dallas, but we also saw the Sigma version of it struggle a lot here. Kaluge, obviously, not new to Sigma. And will get this early high ground, but Dante can take this aggression in. Will come slamming in, looking for it. Doesn't find anything. Pressure back. The Matrix comes through, and the disengage is okay, but they've conceded that space. They now have control of point and the high ground here, which means Vision can just take this. We'll be trying to keep the Pharah marked. It's a very good Pharah map, but it's just Tree. It's all about Tree. Opening picks onto the Lucio, onto the Cass. You can't ask for more. And they'll be able to get that retake for free, even though everything was going Luminosity's way. They got all the space. And well, Tree is a player who's had such a high reputation for so long. When will he be old enough? When will he get to play? When will he be on a top team? And the answer is now. And at least so far, living up to a little bit of that potential. He'll get to start on the high ground here. We'll have to probably take a little bit of a back step as it comes in. Eager to try and force that Tracer out. The magnetic grenade is good. Nero will finish that one, and that'll just end this retake before it starts. Vision is on to Tracer. A hit scan player by trade. As the rest of M80 will push him back in. So Vision gets caught there by the magnetic grenade. And M80 will back up towards point. Getting very close to this flux here is Kaluge. They have Window, they have Lamp to this barrage as well. Lots of ults. But both support ults coming up for Luminosity. But Dante's got so early. He's taken so much damage. But Rock doesn't connect, but he's still low. Matrix back from Kaluge. They survive. They survive for High Noon. Dante is still so low. Kaluge eager to put more and more pressure on the flux now to finish it. The beat comes through. Still going to be low afterwards. The barrage with it. No way of escaping that one. Juby can't get out. And M80 commanding on this Oasis Gardens. That was the big ult one as well. Dante's going to go over onto Winston. So can have a hard life here, potentially. Tracer Genji means Nero is relatively free. And this can make Squid's life an absolute nightmare. Same with Juby as they rotate in. That's what Nero wants to do. Pressure onto this backline as they come through. You see it there. And Dante's going to get blown up in the front. But TP forward is forced. They do trade it for UV. But Nero's still lurking behind. Completely unmarked, uncontested. They're still finding kills too for Squid, but Baboop is going to keep him at bay for now. And Ben has to re-peek into a rock, and 100 to 0. M80 respond powerfully. The dive didn't seem the one there. The neutral always the hardest one there. Dante just gets caught initially. Tree and Kaluge on the cast Malga. They just blow him up. So much damage in play there. We'll see what they choose to go here. I would expect Malga, maybe Sigma. Ram actually the choice. Obviously Dante had... Ooh, maybe not. He did have a lot of success with Ram in the Overwatch League. But... And it does match up well into Sigma, to be fair, but... Matches up less well into Malga. So depending what Luminosity's read is on what they expect here, Malga probably is the safer pick and makes the most sense. Have to be very scary on this high ground, because these stairs can be treacherous. So more specifically, it'll be these stairs for M80 that might be more treacherous. Pharah very good here as well. And actually, yeah, they maybe expect for Malga, so they just concede for high ground immediately, M80, and will play from range. They want distance for Sigma Comp. They want to shoot this Malga. They want to chunk his HP before he walks in. We want to keep this Genji far away from them. Kaluge walking up now. Pressure on. Rock is going to miss. Dante's going to take that as his cue to go. Just zones him back for now. M80 disengaging. Can now re-peek and try and take space. But they lose Nero vision. And Juby able to find that one. Rock now onto Dante. He runs through. Kaluge going for a lot of these early rocks. But Dante has that chance to just overrun through it. But it doesn't matter. They just deal with Dante. The push afterwards, the aggression afterwards, it didn't feel like Vision was close enough or swinging enough. King and Juby still all over them. Kaluge desperately trying to stay alive, and Kaluge has traded too. We saw in Dallas, when Ents were playing into the Malga comp specifically, Vetsler was able to do so much and ended up being such a fundamental part of... Well, I was going to say Ents' success. Obviously, they weren't actually successful against that comp. They struggled, but Vest was able to get so much done. I think if you remember that Ents-Falcons game. Kaluge, also a monster on the Sigma. And we'll be getting close to that Flux initially. Nero's made his way onto the Torb as well. So again, high damage can help burn him through. Matrix has to be used early. Shield will come out now. They force Dante back, trying to poke out this high ground here. Kaluge continues to put him under pressure. Just making their life hard. They're going to clear the turret. Kitsune Rush is available. Rock doesn't connect onto the Genji, but still forced back. Now the Kitsune Rush comes through. He catches the Blade as well. The Blade's going nowhere. Perfect Flux from Kaluge. Can't ask for more than that. And that'll make the rest of it easy for M80. Catches him perfectly, and the Kitsune Rush and the Blade both invested. Now we see Dante does make that switch onto the Ram. Playstyle's relatively similar. The Ram can trade pretty effectively into the Sigma as well. Likewise for M80, the distance is good. Nero back onto the Pharah as well. Ram doesn't have a great response to Pharah. Tree now has the high noon. They have to deal with threats on the right, threats on the left here. Focusing on the left. Considering a rotation high ground, but they just want to meet the Ram. High noon now to force Dante back. Slow onto Tree, but he's going. The Rock is good. They just finished Dante with it. Now they can turn and deal with King. Magnetic Grenade still available. On the hunt. Doesn't need it, though. And Tree keen to keep swinging. Any staggers here will make this last fight super difficult for him, and Squid will not get out. All the kills for Nero. Overclock and Beat coming back. Only Beat from Liar here. They have to try and put pressure onto Vision. Beat's even, the touch is hard. King has gone Tracer for the touch. Trying to come through. Slow catches him at the choke. Amp back from Liar. They do get the touch, but Juby gets caught. No Beat now. No Beat now. The perfect pick from Nero. Liar can beat. They can kill. They can push. They want to go forward. They try and boot for Ram in. Dante's taken so much damage. They're forced all the way back. And what a pick from Nero. He's not missed a beat, has he? Not missed a beat. We'll move on to Midtown. M80 in control of the series. The Sigma comp too much for him. They'll be playing more of it here most likely. Bat, Brig, a Midtown classic. People like the Bat, they like the Brig. We'll see how they respond. False has been put in, which implies a Sigma mirror. The fact that he's walked out on Sigma and is now standing up a choke really implies he's committed to the Sigma pick. Bat Kiri in response, as opposed to the Bat Brig. So Bat Brig is normally quite nice in the Sigma mirror because your Brig can really play in that frontline trade with the Sigma, bully the other Sig, absorb the rock, swing on the other Sigma, make it really hard for him. The Kiri, on the other hand, from Squid, while one of his better heroes, is going to obviously be more suited to supporting the flank, supporting the Tracer. And it's actually May Cast coming out, so they're really actually quite slow, quite brawly. Wool will not catch False, he will deep-peek. Everyone's keeping their angle, they're trying to chase down False, but Liar's gone so far, he's going to die for it. False cops a rock, but survives nonetheless, and they keep all their angles here, Luminosity. A very classic setup on Midtown. Let your Sigma Kiter here, he can survive in this area for a long time, and everyone just has the shooting gallery angles. Anyone who goes up this staircase will die, just like Liar did in that situation. No real ult charge for either of them, and Liar is going to make the move onto Lucio. Squid and Vision... Sorry, Squid and King going to be holding his right-hand side. We'll see where they choose to come. Looks like they just want to swing into main, maybe try and clear this house with Nero. Nero's going to make that move initially. Has to ice block, though. Will get pocketed afterwards, and they can start to force King back. Yuvi's about to have this early window. Dink onto Squid forces him away as well. And M80 can start poking their heads out here. The lamp was forced in the back, and, well, King's just killed UV. The wall onto False here puts him in a predicament. He still has a bit of lamp to play with. Dodges for a rock. But it doesn't matter. They still kill False. Nero's in a lot of trouble now and won't get out of this one. Squid and King will shut that down. And they are struggling in the front line a little bit. Obviously, False has a lot to deal with, as well as the Sigma Mirror, has the May, has the Lucio Speed to contest with. But they're holding their angles well, Luminosity. They're trading all that pressure onto False effectively. And they'll keep themselves steady on this first point. False, not quite back, though, so M80 can start swinging already. They're going to try and swing, but False is there. Wall out, window on the other side, and UV catches Luke. No chance to window back, but here's the Bob. Vision dies for it. They lamp the Bob. They demolish the Bob here. And the window swing is just better. Really good swing by UV. Potentially the only remaining player from the M80 we saw at Dallas. Long term, at least, for M80. They're considering a recontest. Luke's going to go for it. King's going to touch. He gets the immediate pick. Mayo at the choke. Will freeze False. Will freeze the Bap. Kaluge wants to kill the Bap first. Can't quite finish him, though. And there's trades in the back. False has got onto point. Kaluge is going to flux. False in trouble. Trying to get pocketed through. Looking for it. Kaluge will finish that one as well. Still getting pushed here by the Venture. And Luminosity are coming back in force. It was an expensive one at the end. They had to use a lot for that. But our pick onto Liar was perfect. It saved the beat. And the beat is so good in those situations. When it's chaotic, when they're running back, Kaluge is going to make his way now onto the Ram to try and punish False. But Luminosity only have the Flux, and there's a beat and a high noon to help him live it here. So they're going to swing through aggressively early, pressure onto False from Kaluge with that early form. King in the back line, now the beat to keep going. They're going to go through. Defensive Flux comes out, it catches all of them, but False is going to get killed through. Not enough pocket. King's trying to trade kills in the back. He's got one, he's dropped the Pulse. Needed a kill with that Pulse to have any hope. Luke and Vision still had the angles. I didn't really see where Luke was playing there, because it felt like he wasn't in position to really pocket False through any of that. Help him get the Flux off. Because if that Flux goes off, the Flux was pretty reasonable. It catches a lot of the people, but False just doesn't get a chance to convert the damage. So first point eventually goes M80's way. But Luminosity will be happy with the time they have left. Now the early form from Kaluge. They want to clear Luminosity off this high ground. No ults to respond with yet for Luminosity, so they have to take it slow. They're going to lose King as well. Force them all back. The slow up a choke forces a Suzu. And Luminosity just have to concede for ground. They kind of have to wait for this Bob on its window to respond with. M80 will be happy to hold this high ground. Window if they need. High noon if they need. And just move that payload. That'll be Liar's responsibility for now. He'll get it as far as he can. But King can go contest from underneath. And Liar will have to cede that position, I think. Maybe Nero could come help him. But Squid's peeking very aggressively here with King, so they might be better just ignoring him and clearing top to begin with. False holding a very defensive position, and no, Nero has gone to deal with it. Forcing the Tracer out, King has been propelled, and now the window up top. False still has the angle, but this will give him a lot of space. Nero happy to force this Tracer all the way out. King is on half health, looking for the dink finish, but Squid is holding the point behind him. Really frustrating here from M80, but King's taken down by Nero. Squid will be okay, but now the payload will move freely. And now the Annihilation going around the corner. A big rock. The lamp is perfect from UV. High noon swing to help, but it's no good. For Bob has done anything. But Bob and the window help out there. And honestly, a Bob window to hold against the Annihilation High Noon. Really fine with that one. Kaluge took so much damage thanks to that rock from False. And now Luminosity can move on to the high ground. They've got the Flux. They've got the Kiri ult. Mayult difficult here against Vasuzu for Nero. Can't really start the fight with it. Vasuzu can cause him a lot of problems. Wall onto False will force him back. Drops a rocket for choke. Now the flux over the top. They're going to take a lot of this. Nero can ice block. They have to lamp for it. They're still stuck on this staircase, and False is doing so much damage to him here. They have to try and rotate underneath. Pulse Bomb's massive. Suzu doesn't save him, and now Luminosity can come. They can punish everyone. They'll get all the cleanup kills. They'll hold on to that Kitsune rush for this next fight as well. Mayult and beat for M80. The walk up the stairs is a difficult one. Mayult can help with that if they can find a good way to catch False, but so far False has played around the walls quite nicely. Not seen too many where he's been hard walled or completely caught. They're going to wall for a rotation here. Are they considering flipping the map? They might flip the map and window out, or do they just want to fight high ground directly? Here's the Mayult. They're going for it. Luke Mino in trouble. Tries to jump out of it. No speed, but does get out of it. Kitsune Russian response. Beat to keep going. They do get their man Luke. They've rolled him over here, and Luminosity just need to be sure they die on point. False won't be getting out of this one. The recontest will be awkward. They need to die before overtime as well. Squid TP out. We'll be okay. We'll move into overtime. False will be back up now. Window nearly available from Luke. False has only just spawned. King might have to get the first touch here. Has to go for it. Needs a little bit of help. Windows in response. Luke trying to peek. Windows his peek. King has to recall now. They could do with someone taking over this touch. King needs more help. He's playing it well, though. Vision will die. False on point. Vasuzu saves him from the rock. False's rock is good. Kaluch now on the back foot. Squid, Luke all swinging. King is behind him. They need a kill. Pressure onto UV. King desperate for a kill. Turns his attention to tree instead. Dies before the lamp. Flux from Kaluch, though it's still winnable. Drops it down. Sigma advantage. Full shield on point for Kaluch. Desperate to stay alive. The lamp comes out from Luke, but Kaluch is cleaning up on point. But Bob now, though, that's surely too much for Kaluch to deal with. UV's still there, and it'll be a C9 in the end. Well, everyone was dead. Everyone was dead and the fight was lost, but... Luminosity, hold on. A difficult retake there. King did such a good job. Not only manages to stall the point out that entire time, manages to then survive all of that and then start putting backline pressure on. Then all of a sudden, you see that, right? UV is late to lamp, but part of the reason UV is late to lamp is because he's getting pressured by that Tracer. His attention is being pulled in two different directions. And all of a sudden, they find themselves dropping tree, and that fight just starts to swing away. Vision gets the Bob on the way back. Works out perfectly. And Luminosity will be pretty happy with that defense. First point was good. Second point was good. Good couple of clutch retakes at the end of first, at the end of second too. Take more time off the clock. And a few different looks from M80 there in terms of the Ram coming out and the Lucio coming out. They'll be into the Bat, Brig, Sigma for the defense here, which is really the classic comp we see all the time. Looks like it'll be more May from Nero as well. Obviously something that caused... that really caused SSG a lot of problems on their mid-town attack. Walls on these rotations. Didn't get the craziest May value with walls on the attack, but it's a bit easier on defense. Any of these rotations on first point or even on second can get really heavily impaired. And it will be Bap Kiri again, so expect the goal here for Luminosity is play through the flank. Use King and Squid to overwhelm and force the objective. You can see Nero's swinging. He's not holding the right-hand side aggressively at the house. He just wants to contest point. Liar might reposition shortly to help Nero as well. But for now, he's just keeping an eye on top because Vision has gone Widow and he's found Liar. He wasn't keeping an eye on him. Vision was keeping an eye on Liar instead. Now they've got an early pick. They can force the ice block. They're trying to pocket the pick. The touch, sorry. Kaluch is coming back to help. Force back. He's taken so much damage. They have to lamp. The lamp will die. Kaluch is in the middle of everyone. Tree is pushed and killed Vision behind, but Luminosity have full map control. They're going to start forcing it. They'll get a late kill on Tree, a late kill on UV. And Luminosity. The Widow is a bit of a niche pick, a set play they often do on Midtown first attack. It's actually very good. They have a few different versions of it where they set up the Tracer Kiri flank, they draw attention to point, and then they have Vision either flank late through train to try and get an angle, or sometimes he comes underneath late. And it's really hard to keep track of all of that, to keep the point objective focus, as well as obviously making sure that Widow doesn't get a free peek. Obviously a bit of a freebie there, catching Liar with his shield down. And M80 are going to try and stop it at the corner, but King's going to take this off angle again. Vision just happy to throw shots in here. They've got the angles on Kaluj. They're trying to force him out. Kaluj is doing everything he can to keep this Widow at bay, but a rock in the back will make his life really hard. He has to Matrix back, and M80 can see for space, but a window over the top. Not a lot of cooldowns to deal with it, and they're just gonna wall themselves in, but Tree ends up split on top. M80 will live. Are they just gonna die on point here, potentially? They don't have Mayot yet. They can window out aggressively if they want. But it's difficult. They might just be playing for time. Tree will be back soon with an angle. They're going to window out now. Pulse Bomb is there. Lamp will keep him alive. The Flux comes through afterwards. King follows it up. The Pulse and Flux are good. They should be able to avoid any trades here. Tree's still on the Hanzo. A pick we saw Happy utilize quite a bit, but Luminosity are making pretty good time as they approach this final fight. Vision about to have walls. Squid about to have this Kitsune Rush to drop on point. So close to the rally, the Flux, the Blizzard. If they get these ults, M80 can stabilize, but they've got to just not have their heads taken off by Vision. And they seem quite happy to play that slower fight. Now the Kitsune Rush comes in. Kaluj is going to get burnt thanks to that rock. False finds the connect again. Suzu to stop False freezing as well, but he's going to freeze again. He's still trapped in. Lamp is good. The supports staggered their cooldowns as best they could, but this rally on point from Lyre should be the stabilizing factor now. No tank, and they can push back. Tree and UV will take over top. Mayot is good in the end. Found the perfect wall. We talked about how False has been doing a good job avoiding these hard walls. But next time he is caught by one, and it allows M80 to stabilize. They'll have Dragon and Flux on this next one. Remember, Dragon's faster now. We've not seen all that much Hanzo, but Dragon is faster. Only a window coming back soon for Luke Mino. So expect him to try and swing with that Dragon, but I imagine Tree might just use the Dragon to counter the window. Just send it straight out the window. Stop them peeking it. M80 still have 3 minutes left on the clock to hold, so no rush to start a scrap here, but UV's going to get taken down. Kaluj now feels the urge. He's going to go early. It's a Dragon Flux. They put so much damage on them. Well, actually, they don't. It kind of misses, and the Lamp keeps everyone alive. And now, huge advantage. Luke Mino will swing with this window. Lyre is caught. Kaluj has the touch point now. Tree's trying to make a hero play up top, but Luke's got that one taken care of too. No touch in the end. And we're all tied up. A map free. We load into Junkertown, which is a map we've not seen all that often so far in FACEIT. I mean, partly because not all the games had free maps, but also not a common pick for both teams. False has remained in the lineup, which implies more Sigma. As has Squid and Luke Mino, which implies more double flex. Squid is on Lucio in spawn, but he's still in spawn, so I expect him to swap to Kiri. And we might just get more of the same mirror. Obviously, it went pretty well for Luminosity there. They had a very good solution for Midtown first attack. They won a lot of those ult trades, and then Vision, that final fight, Vision just finds the pick, and then M80 kind of just rush all their ults to try and recover it. M80 probably could have slowed it down even more.
3, 2, 1.
But felt they saw an opportunity to win it.
Stop the payload.
And we'll start Tree on Widow. Let's see it from a big man, shall we? Has he got it in him?
You must like having me around.
Just trying to find, well, trying to get Vision on Vision right now. Awaiting for grapple shot. Trying to find him. Gives away his position now. Grapple shot onto Vision. Hits the dink, but it's not enough. Rotates free main now, looking for another angle. Has to be careful. This Tracer Kiri is on Tree's left-hand side now. They could push him at any moment. He has to be aware of it. He's close enough to his team to get pocket. Playing quite a conservative angle now, just helping with the front line. Eyes on that Kiri, eyes on that Tracer. Will peek him himself now. Meanwhile, Nero's got to the back and dealt with it. But Tracer's behind on him. He needs the pocket. Now he can swing out. Wants to force Squid out here. Just hit the SMG. Can't find the finish it, but Squid is still behind here, actually. Tree knows it, though. The point is moving further and further away, and they're just going to rotate away here. Squid is still pushing behind, potentially. Here comes that Tracer. Here comes that Kiri. Needs all the pocket in the world. They do give a pick, and Vision's back. But the payload's been capped. Now Nero's going to keep trying to shut down and chase him down. And, well, Luminosity win the fight. They even drop a pulse bomb in there. But they conceded the cap, so it's all for naught. And they'll get to hold forward here. They'll get to set themselves up on the high ground. They can have King mark point. And they've got a lot of ults to respond with. You can see the way Luminosity wants to play, though. Squid and King are very much a duo. Playing on the flank, trying to force M80 all into one area. Nero's going to start trying to force point as the rest of M80 are making their way underneath. They've kind of left the cart behind for now, though. Kaluge is going to swing onto this high ground. Liar's coming with him. Looks for it. Double bash. Forces it onto False. Window in response. Kaluge wants to flux afterwards, but he's so low. Vision kills him through the window. Nero was trying to deal with him, but he just ignores Nero. Just ignores him as Luminosity pockets it, and Luminosity ready for that one. He'll take a little peek forward. Peek in spawn now. Pressure on. UV's in. All sorts of bother here. Have to be careful from this Widow. You see Tree has gone cast now as well, so we can push a little bit more. Was not expecting that Brig in his face. And Vision will fall all the way back. Pressure now. Oh, he doesn't expect a Sigma here either. And M80 are everywhere Vision does not expect. And it's forced him all the way back and forced a lamp here. And M80 are coming with not all that much though. Only a window, and they've had their lamp forced early. They still manage to make their way underneath. They're going to come up top with this blade. They might well wait out in this walls first. But there's all the ults in the world to drop at this choke. Foles can look for it. Oh, they've caught Nero a little bit split. Liar's trying to help him out. Foles might be in trouble. He's going to get caught by this rock. They thought they could catch the Genji Brig, but they were wrong. And now M80 have huge amounts of space. Luminosity still on the high ground. Vision finds a pick. They Kitsune rush here in this dogfight. Kaluge is going to try and regroup with his team. He's being body blocked though. He does get through. King still putting pressure on. M80 have disengaged it for now. And they've killed Squid. They still need to get this point at some time. King just delaying the car even more, making it annoying for him. Nero just now have this blade, and they have a rally shortly after it. Have to work their way around the flux though. We'll see Nero start on point. As the rest of M80 try and come through. It does mean Nero's a little bit split from the pocket. We'll regroup with his team now. They might just walk out and take the brawl. Looks like Nero might go top. Kaluge bottom, or all top. All top, going to make the way through. Has to try and avoid the flux. Deflex is good. Gets out of a flux. Now looks for Luke Mino. Luke has lamp. Suzu is good actually from Squid. Can they survive? They've shut him down. Luke Mino and Squid do it. They deal with the blade. The flux has kept the rest of M80 at the choke. Now the rock onto Kaluge, and they get shut down. Every cooldown exactly what they needed. Well played by Squid. Well played by Luke. We saw it on Midtown as well when they were trying to pocket False through that mail. The management of their cooldowns is good. They're not using them at the same time for the same thing. They're getting as much pocket as they can out of it. And now 1 minute 40. M80 coming back with a intimidating bank of ults though. Trying to come through underneath. Squid lurking behind here with King as well. Trying to make Nero's life hard, who is now on the Tracer. Will be able to force point a lot more. Well, unless he gets taken down by Squid, he won't. Kaluge pinned back now inside. So the rest of M80. Tree tries to swing out. Will be forced. And False is going to farm a lot of damage. But M80 committed to this rotation. They are a player down still. And King and Squid are still behind him. False will meet him at the choke. Rock is good again. There's for window. False caught by that one. Will be finished. But again, Vision and Luke with the angles. They get shut down. They are getting traded. Another one for Vision. King and Squid all over Kaluge now. Nero's going to come back and try and help out, but Squid TP's back. He still needs more help, but Rock is good. It's only a trade, though, so they can't move payload M80. It's been a slow and arduous slog just to get through the first part of this Junkertown second for M80. And it's not getting any easier. Vision, been consistent. Consistent for picks on this second as well. Walls will be dropped, 25 seconds left. M80's last shot here. They have Heinen to try and swing out top. Flux to keep going. But they have a Kitsune rush to try and come through. A difficult one. Oh, Kings. They're going to give a trade on the Baptiste. That's enough, though. No main source of healing. The Kitsune rush for Flux over the top. Vision's going to hit the shot on the Nero. A little bit of a helping hand from Kaluge. Not expecting that one now. False is going to push in. Flux over the top. Catches the... Well, catches nothing. They should still win anyway. Kaluj is going to find himself on point. False will be coming back now. TP back from UV. M80 going to try and make a go of it, actually. But they're so low. Rock is good, and False will clean this one up. No problem in the end. No problem in the end? No problem in the end. And alright, a pretty good hold on second from Luminosity there. Similar situation to Midtown, right? First point was a bit of a beef with that C9, obviously. But actually, you consider the fact that most of the first point was indeed that C9, and Luminosity did technically win that fight. Luminosity are actually good for most of the fights so far. It's just been... it was just the C9 that really caused them the problems. Luminosity certainly looking like the stronger team on this comp at the moment. Squid and Luke Mino looking very good. And honestly, False, blow for blow with Kaluj. I don't know how much Kaluj has been playing in terms of back to his best or how close he is, but False has gone blow for blow. Probably better in a lot of these trades as well, honestly. The nature of these compositions when you're playing some kind of double flex support, Bap Brig or Bap Kiri, is the matchup is quite slow, and the way you play the map has to be quite specific and deliberate and quite well timed. And this is the sort of thing that really does lean quite heavily on reviewing it and having good set plays for the map. We talk about that Midtown first attack for Luminosity. A great example of that. And you look at this M80 roster, and they're new, right? They're new. They won't have had time to do any of these things, so they're having to improvise it here and might find themselves dropping a rare loss. A rare loss to Luminosity. It will be the same composition again, Tree against Vision. Not really seen too many Widow duels so far, but it feels like Vision has got the more Widow value. But I jinxed him. Tree's going to shut down King. Waiting for the grapple. Vision being patient. Thinks it will be coming. Presumably Tree hasn't seen Vision, but it's Vision who goes for a grapple now. Eyes on the left-hand side. Nero's going to peek. Won't be baited into a shot there. Wants to go coast now instead. Now the swing. Tree doesn't know where he is, I don't think. Vision has the element of surprise and connects the shot too. Now he's got this angle for free. They're winning the fight. King and Squid have taken over the right flank. Vision's taken over the left flank, and there's nowhere left for M80 to go. A vintage Junkertown attack. Hit all the flanks at the same time. They've actually managed to get a trade here, which I don't know if it makes this recontest possible, but maybe not if Vision connects that shot. 2 in a row for Vision. Will grapple into spawn as well. Here's the Genji and takes a back step. And Luminosity in full control here. Holding the angle, capping the point. 5 minutes and only 64 meters to go. Flux coming up for Kaluj. Did do a lot of damage on that choke, even though he ultimately died. And this is the part of the map M80 struggled on the most. Really couldn't get it going, so we'll see how Luminosity choose to approach it here. How much they force point, when they rotate top. At first, though, they need to deal with Kaluj above them. And Nero above them, but False will just keep moving the payload. Slow and steady. Can often win the race. False going to recharge his cooldowns. Have another little tiptoe out. Pressure onto the Widow behind as well. King and Squid have busted open the flank. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and now the Flux onto False. Still has Matrix foe. The lamp was used for the backline though, but False will live. Squid still lurking up. He's getting so aggressive, and Squid and False are now moving the payload away. M80 in big trouble, but that window's good. It catches Squid, and now False finds himself sandwiched between a Genji, but the rock is good. Kaluj is hot on his tail, though. False dodges that rock. The Sigmas are chasing, but look who's here. It's the rest of Luminosity. Kaluj was not expecting that. Runs into trouble. A trade is good again. It's getting very chaotic. It's getting very messy. Nero with a chance of a blade, but nothing gets rocked. It's all False again. But now the rally. Suzu is good, but they can't quite get him out of the room. They drop the Kitsune rush as well, actually. Oh, potential bad ult investment there from Squid. Everyone flanking everyone. Everyone is everywhere. They managed to ultimately stabilize as Kaluch makes his way onto Winston. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock, and look how close Luminosity are to victory. That Brig, Winston, Genji. It's an improvised comp. We might well see UV swap onto Ana or something even after this. But they'll try and make it work. Playing through point initially. Kaluch is above him. Nero does still have that Blade. A chance to dive for backline. No ults to respond with here. But Blade should be able to finish this one. Lamp not able to save Vision. And Nero will be happy with that kill. Even runs into a Tracer. Alright, 1 ult. 1 fight win. And they'll stagger out Luke a little bit as well. So 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Squid will make his way onto the Brig. Vision onto the Cass. And now a lot sturdier. A lot better at punishing this Winston. Tree has for Dragon. And you have to remember, Dragon's fast now. It's got a speed boost. And that means these rotations, like this one, very specifically this one here that they want to do, could be very scary for Luminosity. Eyes on Tree if he chooses to commit it. They have window and everything as well. Primal soon. King still trying to force the point. Looking for it. There it is. It comes through. Lots of pressure. Forces them all outside. The Lamp's there, but they're trapped outside. And again, clean from M80. 1 ult used. 1 fight 1. That's what you want on the defense. And they're keeping them pinned back now. The exact same part of the map. If you remember the final map, the 7th map in the ENT versus SSG OWCS Grand Finals, it was this exact part of the map both teams struggled on as well. Now they do have window here. So one thing you can do now you have window is try and window out of this choke. Try and force some space for yourself. But obviously they've got to deal with this Kaluch Primal. Rotate is difficult. There's a real argument that just taking some kind of dive mirror might even be a bit easier than this type of comp, this type of rotation. But with false in, not really on the cards. They're going to make sure they touch point. We'll try and keep Nero pinned, marking that. But it does have Lyre with a full pocket. Rock will be avoided. They're playing very split and staggered right now. Vision will walk up now. And it's Luke Mino who gets caught. Window in the back. The Primal through it. Vision has been sent flying in. Good Primal from Kaluch. And M80 remain in control. As all of a sudden, that healthy time bank is looking a bit malnourished. 50 seconds on the clock. Luke has gone Ana. His false... Well, surely he doesn't swap Flux, though, to go dive. No, we'll keep it. Comp feeling a little bit weird now, the Ana Brig Sigma. King will start by touching the point as he always does. Force back now. Storm arrows avoided. Vision's going to cop a dink there, though. Slows down Luminosity. Low on time. 1 fight to decide the winner of this series. Playing through point. Rally available soon from Squid. Could be the defining factor. They have to deal with the Blade, though. Trying to keep Vision pocketed up. Looking for M80 to make that first move. Now the Rally comes back. Gets the bash onto the Genji, but no, gets overwhelmed by the Dragon. A classic Shimada Brothers combo. Now the Flux onto point to try and turn it. It's a big Flux, actually. The Lamp is good from UV, and now they come back. And it was not enough. Squid hit the bash, but they couldn't deal with it. The Dragon comes through at the same time, and with the fast Dragon, it's actually so hard to deal with. So hard to deal with. And that will mean M80, despite all the roster changes, despite the lack of practice, despite everything, come out on top. No problem at all for M80, I guess. The caveat is obviously that Luminosity low on practice, etc., as well. All of these things, but M80 going to be pleased with that one, considering the amount of playtime they would have had with this complete roster. The fact that they actually won that Junkertown in that sort of mirror. They even pulled out the emergency dive swap. Ended up being a decision that paid off for them massively. I think some of the key takeaways here are Luminosity actually still really look very good. Thank you, Ayua.
Nero, best friend of the team.
Best friend, yeah. The emergency sub. And to be fair, the one Blade that we had that we saw where Squid and Luke peeled it was actually, I think, just really good by Squid and Luke. The decisions of the setup felt fine from Nero. And the Pharah seemed pretty effective as well. Lots of value in that early Oasis map that they also won. But yeah, back and forth series, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I think ultimately Luminosity do just look better in that bat brick mirror. I think even on that Junkertown, they did look better. It's probably the big one was the attack. I think that's the fight you're referring to, Mapino, where they used the Kirio on the high ground and False died. And they just didn't need it. That fight got super chaotic, and that really favored M80, who I think were mostly losing that fight, honestly. So we can take a look at the scoreboard here. Thank you,
Thanks
Askaz.
for all the great content.
No problem.
Also, Colluge, TR33, Nero?
TR33. Yeah, TR33. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so M80 are going through big roster changes. 4 of their players are leaving the roster is the word on the street. So everyone except Ultraviolet. So Liar's still playing this game, obviously, while they get everything sorted out. Colluge and Tree, the word on the street is they are taken. They will be starters, essentially. They'll be M80's main tank and DPS player. And UV will remain, and then Spectra and Bliss will be coming in. So Bliss, obviously, from Yeti, and Spectra, who's I don't think he has been on a team, actually, since Toronto Defiant in the last year of Overwatch League. But the reasons I don't know about. So I think I want to be careful here in terms of I'm pretty confident those 4 players are indeed leaving. I think Gator said as much on Platchat. But the reasons I think are different. I think Pelican and Happy decided to leave. I don't think it's a retirement necessarily. So we might see Pelican and Happy popping up on one of these other esports World Cup teams. I think Hawk might actually be a retirement, but I don't like to call people's retirements for them. I'm sure Hawk will update on Twitter if that is the case. The roster lock is on the 13th of June, I want to say, for the esports World Cup. So everything should be confirmed and locked by then. And then, yeah, so then Spectra and Bliss come in. Spectra, very good in English, a very talented player. Is he better than Pelican? No. But if Pelican's leaving, I think Spectra's a pretty good alternative. So I think the roster changes make sense. Obviously, they didn't have really the success they wanted with that previous M80 lineup. Even though they did get a lot better once Happy and Pelican were within the relevant time zone. As far as this game goes, we can wrap this one up quickly. So Oasis was actually pretty back and forth. In terms of standout performers, Colluge 25 and 3 did feel like he got a lot done on that Sigma A. Also, what's that? About a 2.5k damage gap too. Tree as well, 23 and 4, probably the best KD going. Actually, no, not as good as Colluge's, but one of the best KDs going. Then we go on to Midtown. And this was actually really Luminosity-sided. King getting a load of value, 26 and 3. It felt like King and Squid actually played that flank duo really well in these slower matchups. So I think, yeah, very impressive from them. In the Junkertown, this was the really even one, right? Like, Luminosity looked pretty dominant for most of the first points, give or take a C9. But both teams really struggled on second point, and ultimately the dive swap came through. So pretty even across the board here. In terms of player of the match, I don't know. I thought Nero had an okay game. I thought Squid actually had, apart from that one Kitsune Rush, I think Squid had a relatively good game as well, as did Luke Mino. I thought False was really good, actually. I thought False was really good. Not seen False play all that much recently, partly because Luminosity haven't played and partly because Dante has been used so much. But I was really impressed by False, really impressed by Squid. But in terms of player of the match, it seems I kind of want to give it to False, even though they lost. Did anyone else on M80 really perform above that? It felt like Tree had a very good Oasis, but then was outclassed very much on Junkertown. Colluge was pretty good, but that Sigma battle was pretty heated. A couple of bad fluxes, a couple of rush fluxes. So maybe UV was the best performer on M80. So yeah, maybe I'll give it to Ultraviolet. It felt like he was the best performer. Traded a couple of times by King, but in general felt like the lamps were there for everything. The window value was good every time. So I think very solid performance by UV. So yeah, I'm happy to give it to him, but honestly, really close to giving it to False. Really close to giving it to False, even though we only played 2 maps and lost one of them. So yeah, congratulations to M80. A good win considering their situation, and Luminosity certainly looking good in a lot of aspects still, honestly. Especially in that double flex support comp, looking very strong. So this will wrap us for the YouTube video. Thank you for joining us. If you want to watch live on Twitch, I'll put the link somewhere, and then it'll be in the description. And yeah, and I'll see you in the next one.